How do you stop chasing and start attracting what truly belongs to you? Imagine a life where you no longer chase people, things, or opportunities, but instead draw them effortlessly toward you. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it? Yet with the wisdom of Stoicism, this dream can become real. Let's get serious for a moment. Have you ever felt exhausted from trying to force things to happen? Maybe you keep reaching out to people who don't respond, chasing opportunities that slip away, or struggling to hold together relationships that keep falling apart. It's draining, isn't it? Why is it that some people seem to attract what they want effortlessly while you can't? You don't have to live that way. Even great Stoics like Marcus Aurelius believed in attraction, not force. So let us begin today's journey with this powerful reminder. What is meant for you will come to you when you stop chasing it. When you start living in harmony with your true self, you create a magnetic force that draws the right people, opportunities, and experiences into your life. To attract what truly belongs to you, we must first understand the difference between chasing and attracting. Because this shift in mindset forms the foundation of our journey. Stay with me until the end. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with someone who needs it. If you're ready, let's begin. 1. Release fear. Letting go of fear turns you into a magnet for the right people, opportunities, and experiences. Fear acts as a barrier that blocks your natural ability to attract what is meant for you. When guided by fear, you often make decisions rooted in insecurity, doubt, and anxiety, leading to missed opportunities and complicated relationships. By releasing fear, you create space for confidence, courage, and authenticity to grow, qualities that make you naturally more magnetic and captivating to others. Fear manifests in many areas of life, especially in relationships. Fear of rejection, fear of being alone, or fear of not being enough. These fears can make you cling to unhealthy connections or chase people who don't reciprocate your feelings. As Epictetus said, "No one is free who has not overcome fear." When you release these fears, you break the chains that hold you back and begin to attract genuine relationships built on mutual respect and love. Imagine being in a relationship where you're constantly afraid of being abandoned or undervalued. This kind of fear can make you act against your true character, becoming controlling, anxious, or even pushing your partner away. But when you release that fear, you begin to value yourself more and approach the relationship with trust and emotional safety. Your partner will notice this shift and as a result is far more likely to appreciate and respond to your authentic self. Moving from fear to trust transforms the entire dynamic of a relationship, making it stronger and more fulfilling. Letting go of fear also applies to your personal growth and goals. When you're no longer afraid to take risks or to fail, you become open to exploring new opportunities and challenging yourself. This courage, this willingness to step outside your comfort zone, is deeply magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate confidence and resilience. When you release fear, you begin to visualize success, set clear intentions, and naturally attract opportunities that align with your true self. So, how do you let go of fear? Start by recognizing it and understanding where it comes from. Practice self-awareness and reflection. To identify the fears that hold you back, once you see them clearly, begin to challenge them. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could really happen? Most of the time, the scenarios we fear aren't nearly as terrifying as we imagine. Replace those fears with your positive affirmations and focus on your high potential for growth and success. Surround yourself with positive influences and people who encourage you to be your best. Engage in activities that strengthen your confidence and remind you of your inner power and worth. Remember, letting go of fear is not a single act, but an ongoing journey. With every step you take, you become stronger and more magnetic. When you release fear and embrace trust, you embody the affirmation, "I am a magnet." This transformation not only enhances your personal well-being, but also turns you into an irresistible force that attracts positivity and abundance into your life. So take the first step today. Let go of fear and watch how the world around you begins to change for the better. Now visualize 2 moments of success. Whatever you imagine vividly, your soul begins to mirror that image. This is a truth the Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, deeply understood, and one that modern science continues to confirm. Visualization isn't just idle daydreaming, it's a conscious mental rehearsal that prepares your brain for the reality you desire. Our minds cannot fully distinguish between a real experience and one imagined vividly with emotion and detail. When you picture yourself succeeding, with clarity and feeling, your brain starts forming the neural pathways needed to make that success real. It's like carving a mental path toward your goal. Let's apply this technique to something tangible. Suppose you want to achieve something you've never done before. Say, running a marathon. Don't just picture crossing the finish line. Focus on the process in itself. Because the power of attraction lies in the process. Hear the sound of your morning alarm, annoying yet inviting. Feel the determination in your fingers as you tie your running shoes. Experience the fatigue at the 10th kilometer. And then the flow state that follows when your rhythm takes over. That is where real transformation begins. As you cross the finish line, imagine the roar of the crowd, the burning in your lungs, the sweet ache in your muscles, and the proud weight of that cold metal resting around your neck. When you visualize at this level of intensity, you are not just preparing for the goal. You are becoming the kind of person worthy of it. Your discipline strengthens, your excuses fade, and your motivation takes solid form. The focused, determined energy you radiate begins to attract the right training partners, inspiring stories, and the resilience you'll need when challenges arise. The universe starts paving the way for you to physically reach the place you've already arrived at mentally, because you've begun to vibrate on the same frequency as your goal. Remember, your mind is the simulation room of your future. Fill it with vivid images of success, resilience, and completed goals. The more often you run that mental simulation, the better prepared you'll be for the real-life obstacles ahead. Once you see it clearly in your mind, it's only a matter of time before it manifests in your reality. It is one of the most practical ways to embody the mindset. I attract everything I truly desire. Whatever you choose to see, you become it, and it begins to move toward you. 3. Do your best, then let go. What can you truly control in your life? The success of a project, someone's love for you, the future state of your health? At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies a revolutionary wisdom born from answering this question honestly. You can control your effort, never the outcome. This principle perfectly aligns with what modern performance psychology calls process-oriented thinking, as opposed to outcome-oriented thinking. Outcomes depend on countless external factors, and that's why they are the greatest source of anxiety. The process, however, your effort, dedication, and focus in the moment, belongs entirely to your domain of control. Instead of wasting your energy worrying about what you cannot control, investing it fully in what you can, the process eliminates stress and, ironically, often produces the best results. Let's see this philosophy through the eyes of a craftsman. Take a master carpenter, for example. He controls every movement of his chisel, the angle against the grain, the pressure he applies, and even the rhythm of his breathing as he brings the design in his mind to life. He pours his soul, experience, and skill into the present moment. The process itself, that is his realm of control. But once the work is complete, he cannot control whether a collector will buy it, how much attention it will receive in an exhibition, or how well it will withstand the wear of time. The true master devotes all his perfectionism to the process, and the moment he makes his final stroke, he releases every expectation about the result. His satisfaction lies not in the fate of the creation, but in the quality of his effort and the way he lived that moment. The same applies to a musician under pressure. A pianist stepping onto the stage can control how much she has practiced, the precision of her touch on the keys, and the emotion she brings to the piece. Every second of her performance is a reflection of her preparation and effort. But she cannot control the audience's mood, the cough of someone in the hall, the quality of the acoustics, or what a critic might write afterward. If the pianist focuses solely on applause or praise, even the smallest external distraction will break her concentration and sabotage her performance. Yet when she focuses only on the music, on the process, she becomes absorbed in it, detached from the external world, and delivers her finest performance. No matter the outcome, he feels the peace that comes from doing his duty to the best of his ability. When you adopt this mindset, you radiate an aura of calm and unshakable confidence. People are naturally drawn to that inner strength and maturity, the kind that remains steady regardless of results. Because you exist in a deep state of peace that comes from knowing you have given your very best. This is the most mature expression of the affirmation. I am a magnet, effortlessly attracting everything I desire. You no longer chase results. Instead, you attract respect, trust, and the kind of reputation that continually opens new doors. Stay faithful to your effort and allow the universe to handle the rest. 4. Attract what you desire. The law of attraction isn't about being a magical magnet. It's about resonance. Just as in physics, everything in life has its own vibrational frequency, opportunities, healthy relationships, success, and most importantly, your thoughts and emotions in each moment. To attract something, you must align your personal frequency with the frequency of the reality you desire. It is like pressing the C key on a piano and watching the C string of a nearby guitar begin to vibrate in harmony. When you start vibrating at the same frequency as the life you want, attraction happens naturally and effortlessly. Let's understand this principle through a tangible story of transformation. Imagine someone working in an office job they believe is killing their creativity, yet their only dream is to become a full-time writer. Phase 1. The mismatched frequency. Every day, this person complains about their job, feels their time is wasted, and keeps saying, "Someday I'll start writing." Their thoughts vibrate at the frequency of limitation and inadequacy, while their emotions emit envy toward successful writers and hopelessness about their own situation. In this state, it's physically impossible for them to resonate with inspiration or attract the attention of a publisher. Despite their desire, they are in perfect harmony with their dull reality, not with the future they dream of. Phase 2. The adjustment. Then, one day, instead of wishing, they decide to become. He no longer defines himself as an office worker who wants to be a writer, but as a writer who happens to be doing another job temporarily to make a living. Every morning before work, he writes for just 30 minutes. This is called the frequency of action. During lunch breaks, he studies and analyzes the works of writers he admires. The frequency of learning. He stops complaining and starts seeing the dull characters in his office as material for his next novel. Phase 3. Resonance and attraction. As his frequency changes, the universe begins to respond differently. At a writing workshop, he reads an excerpt of his work and catches the attention of an editor. An old friend he hasn't spoken to in years reaches out looking for a content writer for a new website. Each step he takes, each act of writing, sends a clear signal to the universe. I am ready. This is who I am. A year later, when he finally leaves his office job, it is not a blind leap of faith. It is a natural and steady step into the reality he has been consciously weaving all along. He didn't attract opportunities by magic. He became the kind of person opportunities naturally flow toward. Stop watching the life you desire from a distance. When you raise your vibration, lower frequency habits and people will naturally fade away, while those aligned with your vision will begin moving toward you. This is the physical principle behind the phrase, I am a magnet. Similar frequencies find and strengthen each other, and you are a being that creates resonance. 5. The art of surrendering to flow. Letting go of control doesn't mean being passive, giving up, or allowing life to drag you wherever it pleases. It represents a much deeper and far more powerful level of wisdom. The art of surrendering to flow. Imagine life not as a machine where every bolt must be tightened, but as a powerful river that you skillfully navigate. Most of us live rowing desperately against the current, trying to plan every detail, force every outcome, and manage every person's behavior. This is a futile struggle against life's natural force, leaving us only tired, frustrated, and defeated. Surrendering to the flow doesn't mean dropping the oars and drifting helplessly into the rocks. It means understanding the power and direction of the river, using your oar like a rudder to steer around obstacles, avoid dangers, and ride the current's momentum to reach your destination more gracefully and swiftly. It's not about fighting life. It's about dancing with it. Let's see how this art unfolds in the journey of someone striving toward their goals. Imagine an entrepreneur who sets out to push an idea into the market by force, that S like rowing against the current. When the idea fails, the controlling mindset reacts with even more pressure, more ads, more force, more resistance. But the wise entrepreneur who has learned the art of flow listens to the feedback of the river, the market. He recognizes the message. This path is closed. The water doesn't flow here. Using his oar, his strategy, he redirects his boat toward an unmet need, a quiet channel no one else has noticed. With the river's power behind him, he succeeds far beyond his first attempt, because now he's moving with the universe, not against it. Or picture a perfectly planned trip where every second is scheduled. That's like trying to carve a straight canal instead of following the river's natural curves. When a flight gets canceled, the controlling traveler panics, grows angry, and fights to restore the old plan. But the traveler who understands the art of surrender sees it as the river its invitation, an unexpected pause. Stranded in a new city, he embraces the detour and ends up having the most unforgettable, authentic experience of the entire journey. Because the most beautiful views often lie off the planned path. So how do you learn to read the river? First, stop obsessing over what should be and simply observe what is. Life constantly sends you signals, hints about the direction of the current. Second, learn to improvise in small steps. You don't have to know everything in advance, just focus on the next right move. Finally, develop the calmness of a skilled navigator. Instead of rowing frantically in panic, steer with a composed mind and choose your path wisely. Once you master this art, life stops being a struggle and becomes an adventure. Stress gives way to harmony and ease, and that's when true attraction begins. Because you're no longer forcing things toward you. You're positioning yourself in the middle of the river where opportunities, the right people, and success already flow naturally. This is the most intelligent expression of I am a magnet. You are not the one doing the pulling. You are the one standing in the right current. 6. Becoming a connoisseur of pleasure. The quality of your life is not defined by the grand events that shake it, but by the texture of the moments you choose to notice each day. Think of your mind as a vast mosaic. Every day, dozens of tiny tiles, moments, fall into your hands. Most of us unconsciously pick up the cracked, dull gray pieces, worries, boredom, fears, and fit them into the mosaic. Then we wonder why the overall picture feels so heavy and bleak. But what if you became a connoisseur of pleasure? Someone who deliberately seeks out the bright, shimmering tiles, holds them up to the light, feels their texture, and places them carefully into the most beautiful part of the mosaic. Being a connoisseur of pleasure doesn't mean chasing constant excitement or great happiness. On the contrary, it's the art of noticing and appreciating the extraordinary within the ordinary. It's the modern, personal expression of what the Stoics called the contemplation of the beauty of the cosmos and the small miracles within it. It means savoring the rich warmth of your first sip of coffee in the morning, the gentle sunlight breaking through clouds on a cool day, the quiet satisfaction of writing a perfect sentence or solving a small problem during a busy workday, the music that brings back a cherished memory as you walk down the street, or the freshness of a ripe fruit you take a moment to truly taste. These are the luminous mosaic tiles that most people step over, but a connoisseur bends down, picks them up, and treasures them like rare gems. To cultivate this art, you have a few tools. First, the 3 stones technique. Every night before bed, mentally place the 3 brightest stones you collected that day into your inner mosaic. Reflect for a moment on why they shone so brightly. Second, the sensory anchor. When you experience a beautiful moment, consciously link it to one of your senses. A smell, a sound, a texture. So your mind can return to it later with ease. What did that moment smell like? What were the sounds in the background? How did it feel against your skin? Recalling these details makes the memory more vivid and lasting. Finally, give yourself a daily mission, a beauty hunt. Tell yourself, today I will find at least one hidden beauty I've never noticed before. When you consciously beautify the mosaic of your mind every day, the masterpiece that gradually emerges becomes a source of light. Your inner world begins to glow with the colors of carefully chosen positive moments, and that light inevitably shines outward. This is true attraction. People and opportunities are drawn to you not because you chase them, but because they feel the warmth of the beauty and peace radiating from within you. It's the most artistic expression of, I am a magnet. Your inner world becomes a masterpiece that naturally attracts those who appreciate beauty. 7. Live by your personal constitution. Being true to yourself is not a vague or passive state. It is an active, conscious, and deliberate act. It means writing your own personal constitution and living by it at all costs, in every moment of your life. Just as a strong nation is defined by its constitution, its laws, borders, and identity, a strong character must also have non-negotiable principles, personal rights, and duties to itself. This constitution becomes your ultimate compass at the crossroads of life. Ask yourself, are you saying yes to please others, or because it aligns with your principles? Are you accepting an opportunity because it looks shiny from the outside, or because it is in harmony with the core articles of your personal constitution? This clarity frees you from indecision and from being carried away by the winds of others' expectations. Let's see how this principle plays out in real life. Imagine someone who has grown tired of always living by other people's wishes. One day they sit down and decide to write their own constitution. Just 3 simple articles. 1. Curiosity. Life is for learning and discovery. I will not remain long in any job, relationship, or environment that kills my curiosity. 2. Stillness. For my mental well-being, I need a daily period of quiet, free from technology and noise. This is a non-negotiable right. 3. Sincerity. I will not spend my emotional or mental energy in insincere social settings or superficial relationships. A short time later, this person meets someone popular, a social butterfly who wants to go out every night always surrounded by crowds. Before writing their constitution, they might have been tempted by that lifestyle, pushing themselves to fit in. But now, they consult Articles 2 and 3, their need for stillness and authenticity, and realize this way of life would go against their own nature. They end the relationship early, honestly, and respectfully. It isn't painful, it's liberating. What did that moment smell like? What were the sounds in the background? How did it feel against your skin? Recalling these details makes the memory more vivid and lasting. Finally, give yourself a daily mission, a beauty hunt. Tell yourself, today I will find at least one hidden beauty I've never noticed before. When you consciously beautify the mosaic of your mind every day, the masterpiece that gradually emerges becomes a source of light. Your inner world begins to glow with the colors of carefully chosen positive moments, and that light inevitably shines outward. This is true attraction. People and opportunities are drawn to you not because you chase them, but because they feel the warmth of the beauty and peace radiating from within you. It's the most artistic expression of, I am a magnet. Your inner world becomes a masterpiece that naturally attracts those who appreciate beauty. 7. Live by your personal constitution. Being true to yourself is not a vague or passive state. It is an active, conscious, and deliberate act. It means writing your own personal constitution and living by it at all costs, in every moment of your life. Just as a strong nation is defined by its constitution, its laws, borders, and identity, a strong character must also have non-negotiable principles, personal rights, and duties to itself. This constitution becomes your ultimate compass at the crossroads of life. Ask yourself, are you saying yes to please others, or because it aligns with your principles? Are you accepting an opportunity because it looks shiny from the outside, or because it is in harmony with the core articles of your personal constitution? This clarity frees you from indecision and from being carried away by the winds of others' expectations. Let's see how this principle plays out in real life. Imagine someone who has grown tired of always living by other people's wishes. One day they sit down and decide to write their own constitution. Just 3 simple articles. 1. Curiosity. Life is for learning and discovery. I will not remain long in any job, relationship, or environment that kills my curiosity. 2. Stillness. For my mental well-being, I need a daily period of quiet, free from technology and noise. This is a non-negotiable right. 3. Sincerity. I will not spend my emotional or mental energy in insincere social settings or superficial relationships. A short time later, this person meets someone popular, a social butterfly who wants to go out every night, always surrounded by crowds. Before writing their constitution, they might have been tempted by that lifestyle, pushing themselves to fit in. But now they consult Articles 2 and 3, their need for stillness and authenticity, and realize this way of life would go against their own nature. They end the relationship early, honestly and respectfully. It isn't painful, it's liberating. 9. Define your personal vector. The reason you often feel stuck in life is not a lack of energy or effort, but a lack of direction. In physics, a vector has both magnitude, how much force is applied, and direction, where that force is aimed. Power without direction is power wasted. Setting clear intentions means defining your personal vector, focusing your life energy not randomly, but toward a single precise point. It's the science of transforming vague wishes into an unfailing plan of action. Picture a master archer. He never draws his bow without first fixing his eyes, and his mind, on the tiny point at the very center of the target. He knows that without absolute clarity of aim, neither the bow's tension nor his own strength will matter. When he channels all his power into one specific point, the arrow flies straight and true. Most of us, however, pull the bowstring of life with all our might, then shoot dozens of arrows aimlessly into the hazy sky we call a better life, and wonder why none of them hit the target. Goals like to be more successful or to be happier are not goals. They are clouds of mist you can't aim at. A person with unclear intentions, the aimless archer, says, I want to learn English. Because the intention is vague, their energy and actions are scattered. They might use a mobile app for a while, watch a few videos, listen to a podcast, then lose motivation and quit. They stay busy, but a month later, the only word they've mastered is hello. Now consider the archer with a clear vector, a precise intention. His goal is this. In 9 months, I'll be able to introduce myself to a foreigner and hold a 5-minute conversation. See the difference? That's not a wish. It's a coordinate. Now every action serves that goal. He doesn't memorize random words. He studies restaurant and travel dialogues. He doesn't drown in grammar. He focuses on expression and comprehension. His energy is like a laser, concentrated on one point. So how do you define your own vector? Apply the one-goal rule. For each major area of your life, health, career, personal growth, and so on, set only one measurable, concrete goal for the next 90 days. You can't aim at 5 targets at once. Express your goal as a completed result, not an ongoing action. Instead of saying, I'll write every day, say, I'll have completed a 10-page short story in 30 days. Conduct a 5-minute vector check every Sunday. Review your actions from the past week and ask yourself honestly, did this move me closer to my target, or was it just another arrow shot at random? When you define a clear vector, your life energy stops being like a weak light bulb dimly illuminating everything around and becomes a focused laser beam sharp enough to cut through steel. You no longer have to chase anything. You move toward your goal with such clarity and force that opportunities, people, and resources naturally align with, and are drawn into, your determined motion. 10. Becoming your own greatest ally. Valuing yourself goes far beyond complimenting your reflection in the mirror or indulging in occasional self-care. It is a deeper, unshakable act. To be your own greatest ally in life's hardest battles, under the harshest external criticism, and in the darkest moments of inner doubt. It is the art of creating within you a loyal companion who will defend you no matter what. who will offer you honest but never cruel advice, and who will never abandon you. Before seeking an ally outside, it is about building that ally inside. Think of your mind and soul as a fortress, an inner sanctuary, as the Stoics would say. For most of us, the gate of this fortress is guarded either by a careless sentinel who lets anyone in, or by a cruel warden who constantly humiliates everything within. Being your own ally means becoming a wise, strong, and compassionate guardian at the gate of that fortress. This guardian's duty is to carefully choose which thoughts, beliefs, and influences are allowed to enter, and to protect the fortress's inner worth, firmly and patiently, from both inner and outer attacks. The true strength of this ally is revealed in moments of failure or rejection. Imagine you have spent months working on a project, and it fails. The cruel warden within immediately awakens, that familiar voice that says, "See? You're not enough. Of course you failed. Who did you think you were to even try?" That is like opening the fortress gates wide to an invasion of despair and shame. Now imagine the same failure, but this time your wise inner ally is in charge. Your ally speaks with compassion first. "This hurts. After all the effort you gave, it's completely natural to feel disappointed." Then, instead of launching a personal attack, the ally offers a strategic analysis. What can we learn from this? Which assumption was wrong? What variable can we change next time? This result isn't a verdict on our worth. It is valuable data for our next strategy. Your inner ally protects the fortress from the invasion of doubt and shame, turning defeat into a council of strategy. So how do you build such an alliance? By making a three-part pact with yourself: a personal alliance treaty, the oath of unconditional defense. I will defend my self-worth with the same loyalty and strength that I would use to protect a beloved friend or a child from harsh criticism, both from my inner voice and from the negativity of others. The commitment to honest counsel. I will not punish myself with cruel, vague, or generalized self-criticism. Instead, I will offer myself honest, specific, and strategic feedback meant to help me grow. The duty of conscious supply. I will provide myself with what I need to stay strong: rest, inspiration, healthy boundaries, time, and nature, not as luxury or reward, but as essential supplies for the fortress and its guardian. When you become your own greatest ally, your inner fortress becomes unconquerable. You no longer crave external validation, praise, or affection, because the strongest and most reliable support already exists within. And at that moment, the law of attraction reaches its purest and most powerful form. A solid, peaceful fortress that radiates its own light does not need to chase or pull anything toward itself. 11. Open the gates of your fortress. Consciously. Through the previous 10 principles, you have built an invincible inner sanctuary, a fortress. You have expelled fear, learned patience, written your own constitution, and become your greatest ally. Now you stand with an unshakable center, untouched by the storms of the external world. But what is the ultimate purpose of such a powerful fortress? To simply sit safely inside, alone and protected? No. The final and most graceful step of true mastery is to open the gates of your fortress, not out of need, but from a position of strength and awareness. Here lies the greatest secret and deepest paradox of the law of attraction. The moment you attract the most into your life is the very moment you stop trying to take and begin to focus entirely on giving. This is to reimagine yourself as a lighthouse. A lighthouse is not needy. It does not chase ships. It does not shout for attention, nor beg to be noticed. It simply stands firm on its rock, unwavering, with a single purpose: to cast its light into the darkness of the sea without expecting anything in return. Its existence is not for itself, but for others. To guide lost ships, to warn of hidden rocks, to illuminate the darkness. And through this selfless act of service, it becomes the most vital, sought after, and irreplaceable point in the ocean. Ships are not magnetically drawn to it. They orient their course by it, to survive, to find their way. That is attraction at its highest form. Let's look at how this principle manifests in life. A masterful software developer having already achieved excellence, stops chasing better job offers. Instead, on weekends, he begins to teach coding to young people for free. He shines his light. Through this generous act, he creates an aura of respect and gratitude around him. Then one day, unexpectedly, the parent of one of his students realizes that this very person is the kind of leader their company needs for a major project, and offers him an opportunity beyond his wildest dreams. Another person passionate about music stops trying to make their songs famous. Instead, they visit nursing homes and give small concerts to the elderly. They open the gates of their fortress. Their only goal is to touch lonely hearts with music. During one of those visits, a documentary filmmaker volunteering there is deeply moved by the musicians' sincerity and talent, and invites them to compose the soundtrack for their upcoming film. Opportunities do not find those who chase them. They find those who radiate their own light. So, how do you shine your own light? First, identify your abundance. In what area of life do you possess a surplus, something that overflows from within you? This abundance does not have to be money or time. It might be your deep knowledge in a certain field, your patience to truly listen to others, your ability to organize chaos into order, or simply your sense of humor. Whatever it is, that is your light to share. Second, serve without keeping score. Give without calculation, without asking, what will I get in return? The moment you start thinking, I did this for them, what will they do for me? You slip back into the needy energy of chasing. And finally, illuminate the nearest circle. You don't need to save the whole world. Help just one person. Beautify one small corner of your neighborhood. Begin to shine your light exactly where you are. The journey from the noisy desperation of chasing to the quiet strength of self-sufficiency, and finally to the generous service of the lighthouse. This is the ultimate path of the law of attraction. You no longer try to become a magnet, because you no longer need to. You become a source. This is the wisest and highest form of saying, I am a magnet. It becomes, I am a source of light. My purpose is not to attract, my purpose is to shine. And as I shine, everything I need finds its way to me. At the core of this journey, you have completed a fundamental shift in mindset, from a state of neediness to a state of inner sovereignty. The one who chases believes that happiness, love, and approval exist somewhere outside, in other people, in achievements, in recognition. But the sovereign person becomes the wise ruler of their own inner kingdom. They generate their own value, find peace within their own fortress, and take validation from their own constitution. They no longer need to receive anything from the outside world, because they have discovered that the greatest treasure has always been within, under their own rule. And in this state of sovereignty, even the word attraction transforms. True attraction is no longer an active effort to pull something toward you. It becomes the effortless result of your very being. Like a master gardener. The gardener does not chase butterflies, nor try to trick them into coming closer. He gives all his care and attention to the garden itself, nourishing the soil, planting the most beautiful flowers, ensuring that sunlight and water exist in perfect balance. The garden becomes so alive, so healthy, so full of nectar, that butterflies and bees arrive naturally, effortlessly. They are not the goal. They are the inevitable outcome of the garden's perfection. And when you transform your inner world into such a garden, the right people and opportunities will be drawn to its vitality. So what happens to your desires then? They don't disappear, but your relationship with them changes completely. Desire used to be a painful emptiness to fill, a source of anxiety. Now it becomes a direction, a joyful choice, a goal free of suffering. You no longer approach your dreams with the desperation of, I must have this to be happy. Instead, you move with the calm freedom of, it would be wonderful to experience this, but my wholeness does not depend on it. This is detached dedication, to pursue your goal with full strength, yet to be completely free from the bondage of the outcome. That is true freedom. And so we reach the end of this journey, guided by 10 powerful principles. What you now hold is not just a list of tactics to achieve certain results, but a complete philosophy capable of reshaping the fabric of your life and your relationships. Every principle you've encountered was designed to lead you to one fundamental truth. Life is not about desperately chasing what's outside of you. It's about becoming the unshakable, valuable person to whom those things flow naturally and effortlessly. This is not about manipulation, nor about wearing masks to impress others. It is the art of patiently building your most authentic, most courageous, and most grounded self. And when that inner light shines through every thought and every interaction, everything that is right for you will already be finding its way toward you. If this journey resonated with your soul, please remember to like the video and subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd also love to hear your reflections. Share them in the comments. And as a final declaration of intent, write these words: I am a magnet. Let these simple words mark the moment you become not only the seeker, but also the one who is found, not only the one who wants, but also the one who is worthy, not only the one who chases, but also the one to whom life is drawn. This is your way of saying, from this moment on, I shape the outer world through the power of my inner world. And who knows, perhaps your declaration today will become the spark of inspiration someone else needs tomorrow morning. Thank you for watching.